Stereo's newly redesigned NS Micro headstock tuner is even better than before. It has a wider opening ratchet grip, 360 degrees of adjustment, and a simplified button layout, designed in partnership with Ned Steinberger.
Guitar hanging out with Thunderpussy just after a thunderstorm in Nashville, Tennessee. We're with Whitney Petty, truly known better as Whitney Petty. Whitney, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's good to be back in Nashville, home of some really amazing artists and great music. And you know, even though it is storming outside pretty heavily.
It literally is thundering.
It is. We brought the thunder. It's what we do.
Before we get into guitar talk, which obviously what we brought here today for is like a little over a month ago, you guys got the court case with you and the Slants and everything.
Right.
That's been concluded. So fill our audience in about what Thunderpussy has gone through with the name and try to trademark that.
Yeah, I mean, we applied for our trademark at both the federal level and in the state of Washington about 5 years ago. And we received the one in Washington, but we were sidelined and denied at the federal level. And we were called disparaging, scandalous, and immoral. These are all things that are part of this antiquated act called the Lanham Act that dictated why the federal government could deny us. But they basically said, you have to wait for another case. And it was the case of the Slants, an Asian American band out of Portland, very similar case. And they won, and we thought, oh, we'll win, but they said, ah, ha, ha, ha. The Slants were disparaging and scandalous. You're immoral and scandalous.
Word game.
So you have to, I was like, okay, I guess we're immoral now. What the So then we had to wait on a different case. This man named Brunetti, who has a clothing company that is spelled F-U-C-T, which is also immoral, apparently. And so we're waiting on him, and he just won his case. So now I'm under the impression that we're just waiting on the paperwork to be filed. But you know, if you've ever gone to the DMV or had to deal with the federal government at any level, you know, they're always wanting one more thing and one more piece of paper, and just wait a little while longer, and oh, we've got to ask this person, and it's just like we're just, you know, whatever. We'll wait forever.
Obviously, for you guys and what you're about in the Slants, obviously, is probably attached to the music and the band, and the image is also a freedom of speech thing.
Oh, 100%.
But what does that mean for you guys to have that as a band? Is that, like, in layman's terms, of someone that's in a band that might have a similar situation, or why is it important for a band to have a trademark? Is it merch? That's
a great question. I mean, it's just something that you do. I mean, can you imagine if Nike didn't have their own trademark? Or, I mean, if Freddie Mercury, if Queen didn't have their own trademark, basically, you can't send cease and desist letters if someone is trying to steal your brand. I mean, if someone else applied for the trademark and was able to get it, and we had forgotten to apply, they would have all the rights. They could then come to us, even though we've been a band for 5 years and they're a brand new company, and they could say, hey, we have the trademark, so you have to cease and desist, so it's ours now. And there's nothing we could do. We would have to just stop being Thunderpussy.
Yeah.
If someone else was able to trademark it. There's a lot of things you can do with copyright protection. You can copyright ideas and logos and images and fonts. You can even copyright songs, which is what you do when you register with a PRO like BMI or ASCAP. But for your actual name, the name of your business to be trademarked is a really important protection that you need, and merchandise would be a very obvious thing. I
Yeah.
mean, if someone's outside your gig slinging T-shirts, you know, maybe it's not a big deal when you're playing at the High Watt in Nashville, but I want to be playing arenas,
Yeah.
and that's $1 million industry, and you need to protect your name.
Understand. So it's not only just a First Amendment right and speech, but it's also, you know, money.
Yeah, but it's definitely a freedom of speech thing at its
Yeah.
core, and the reason that Brunetti just won his case and the Slants won their case was on the grounds that the government's not allowed to tell you what is disparaging or scandalous or immoral, and the Lanham Act is antiquated and needs to be changed.
Well, we're glad that you guys took the step to take that fight on.
Thank you.
And with all the legal jargon aside, let's just talk guitars, because that's what we're here.
So much easier.
Yeah, right? I feel like a weight is off our shoulders. Now let's talk about this beautiful, air quotes, new guitar that you got from a very famous friend.
Yeah, this is a Mike McCready relic Les Paul, and it's actually identical in a lot of ways to his actual 59 Les Paul, which he was kind enough to let me use to record our song Velvet Noose. Mike lets me play all his guitars because he's a champ, and when he was graced by Gibson with his own relic series, his own signature series, he put one aside for me, and like I was telling you, he pulled me into the men's room at
Yeah.
the Showbox after we played Flight to Mars with his band.